Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Aquarius energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. Some people harness high vibe Aquarius energy, some people harness a more worldly focused Aquarius energy, and some people harness a more shadowy Aquarius energy. And we just need to listen to our intuition about who's who. Aquarius energy can have to do with, how we view life, how we view the world, what our dream life looks like, dream relationships, and what our goals are in life. Some people, it is about hope and faith and belief and love, and they look at life from a higher perspective. And other people, their dream is to make their life more about themselves for the world, and that's what drives and motivates them. And shadowy people could be prideful, egotistical, self-centered people, and they just want maybe someone to manipulate, to indulge them in their ego or their selfishness or something, self-centeredness. So we all tap into Aquarius energy because we all have a dream, and we just need to listen to our intuition about who's on the same page as us, who isn't, who wants the more worldly dream about indulgence or ego or image and materialism, and who wants a more balanced relationship where we want some of those things of the world. We'd all like stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. It's just some people aren't willing to give up love in order to have those things, and other people are. So let's go see what's going on. The overarching reason for the reading is the angels of the four directions, and underneath that is playing it safe. Some people want to play it safe. The playing it safe card can talk about emotionally. People want to stay in their comfort zone. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone. I don't want to continue to face my fears, to heal or grow or mature myself, to live life any differently. I want to do life just the way I've done it. And I want to find someone else who wants to live life like this. And other people, we can all be tempted to stay in our comfort zone. But for high vibe people, for everybody, it can cause them conflict. If we get to a phase and a stage of life and then we have fear of living life differently, it can cause us all inner conflict. But the high vibe people listen to their intuition. Why am I feeling conflict about this? And they're willing to take action to deal with what those conflicts are, because they don't like to feel manipulated by their fear and their insecurity and their pride and their ego. And then with the planning and action card, they take action to deal with their fears and insecurities about like loving and believing in themselves, to listen to their intuition, to work through their lack of self-belief in self. And then they tap into their creativity and their imagination to work through those things. And again, work through their own dark thoughts, our own shadow nature, and our fear of being hurt and our fear of change, keeps popping up. We've got to keep overcoming it. Let me get these straightened out here. And then they get to a place of, again, having hope and faith and belief, working through, again, their fears and insecurities. And eventually, when people keep persevering, they keep moving forward, having hope and faith and belief in themselves, and finding other people in their life who are kind of on the same page as them. So let's put those all back away. And there's going to be people who have other people who are more like ready for the next phase of life, more bold and brave and confident or something, willing to face their fears, that are going to leave behind an old way of viewing life and looking at life. And there's going to be some people in their life that they're going to move away from, because we can't make other people face their fears and insecurities or self-limiting beliefs. We can't, we can offer people love and encouragement You know, there can be people in our life that we are always offering them love and encouragement to face their fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs to move forward with us. But we can't put our life on hold because they haven't or don't want to. We wish them peace, love, and joy. Everybody's got to learn. Sometimes people got to learn lessons the hard way, just like the rest of us did. So we wish them peace, love, and joy, and we keep moving on, facing our fears and our insecurities and our self-limiting beliefs to keep growing and healing and maturing ourselves. So that's the overarching message for the reading. But what's going on in Aquarius energy right now? The transformation card, of course, reminds me of the death card in tarot. We can either keep thinking, I have an idea, I don't have to deal with my inner conflict, I don't have to take action to like love and believe in myself and wrap my brain around my fears and my insecurities. I can just keep doing what I've been doing. I'm sure it'll work out okay. And then the death card can be like, we keep staying in stagnant energy. There's nothing new to learn there. We've been there, we've done that. But we just don't want to deal with our inner conflict and take action on the things that cause us inner conflict, or to even look at them. You know, we have to even be inspired to want to deal with our inner conflict. And some people aren't. It's like, no, I'm just not going to deal with it. You know, I'm going to keep doing life the way I've been doing it. It's kind of like doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So people can go get in different jobs, different friendships, different romantic relationships, but they've never dealt with their inner conflict that maybe they might have about commitment, about love. And so they keep repeating the same pattern over and over and over, just different jobs, different people, but it's the same. They're the same person that they were in the last job, the last relationship, but for some reason they have some inner conflict that they don't want to deal with. Other people are motivated to, at a point in time, to deal with some of their baggage, to work through it, to let it go. We all, at any given moment in time, we can get in relationships, maybe because one situation ended and we're wanting to move forward in something new, but we can harness our Scorpio energy different. High vibe Scorpios, people who want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, people who want to keep transforming throughout their life. Life-giving energy is where we go through that process of growing and healing and maturing, and we let go of old ways of being and thinking because they're kind of immature. You know, we kind of have our ways of living life just like we did at age 15, age 18, age 21, age 25. And it was great to be at a certain stage of life, but then we kind of realize, you know, I think I'm ready to go to the next phase of life. I need to look at some ways that I have about me and ways about viewing life. And maybe some of those things I've kind of outgrown, some of those fears, some of those insecurities, some of those more immature ways of viewing life. And I work through those things to let go of those to keep adding to my foundation. And we can get in relationships with people and we could realize that one person is that type of person and some of the other people that we could get in relationships with aren't that type of person. And shadowy Scorpio can be, and you don't have to be dealing with the Scorpio sun sign, it's just how they harness their Scorpio energy. That I prefer to maybe keep my emotions buried beneath the surface. And again, I might have some inner conflict I don't want to deal with. Maybe I had a relationship ended and I just want to get in another relationship to feel better, you know? And then when I get in a relationship, I want it to be a certain way because I am, we're either in our pride and ego, our defensive nature, our more immature nature, or we're willing to heal and grow and mature ourselves over time. And sometimes we get in relationships with people and we don't realize that emotionally in our emotional nature and in our Aquarius energy that we have these different ways of viewing the dream life, the dream relationship. It's like, oh, you want it to stay, not ever step outside your comfort zone. Because if you're going to go into unknown territory and step outside your comfort zone, you have to let love and intuition guide you because you haven't been there before. And that's why some people won't do it. No, I want to do things the way I've always done it. I don't want to change. I do not want to, the truth sets us free to live our life differently. And there could be some things that people need to deal with that they are not willing to deal with. So they keep wanting things to be a certain way, maybe where they've, it makes them feel comfortable, it makes them feel balanced. And, we all do what we think is just and fair at any point in time in our life. So it's just to see the truth of it. Who's willing to move forward with us, emotionally detaching from some old ways of being and thinking and feeling that are kind of keep us stuck, and might be a little stagnant, a little superficial and shallow, and who's willing to go on the emotional roller coaster of life of bring it on. I'm an emotionally complex person, and I know that everything I go pursue isn't going to work out the way I want. But I have hope and faith and belief in love. I have hope and faith and belief in myself that even if it doesn't work out, I believe I can pick myself back up. I'm going to try to make good decisions. But if I see the truth at some point in time that we have different dreams, different motivations, I'm not going to give up my dreams out of my fears and insecurities about loving and believing in myself. I'm going to wish those people peace, and I'm going to keep moving on. So it also has to do with these two cards, maybe about how people try to transform their life. We're either truly healing and growing and maturing ourselves, or we're just trying to make it look like, look, I'm different. Look, I'm not the same person I was before. Look, I've moved on. Look, I've healed. Look, I've grown and matured myself. But have they really? So let's go look at these two cards. Travel and the loving woman. So when cards aren't showing themselves for some people, the travel card is like the Eight of Wands card, which is Sagittarius energy about higher learning and education. Some people, no, that's not how to transform my life. No, I do not need to wrap my brain around this game of life. No, I do not. I am not inspired by love. I do not want to do love. I can get hurt doing love. I don't want to deal with my issues. And I think some of the shadowy people are people who are not aligned with their more loving, hopeful, believing nature. They don't want people to know that. One relationships, jobs and things can end. I want to go get in another job. I'm not going to tell those people that I might harness this energy in a shadowy way, which is that I want to move forward maybe with someone who's loving, because we all like to be in relationships with people who are loving and nurturing and supportive, but I'm kind of immature. That would be shadowy Sagittarius energy. I just kind of want to indulge myself in a relationship with someone who's loving. I like to be in a relationship with people who are like that, but I'm not really that type of person. We have free will. Do I align with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature? Or do I align with my more worldly nature, egoic nature, defensive nature, prideful nature, immature nature, indulgent nature? And some of the people who aren't harnessing high vibe Aquarius energy want people to view them as someone who's in high vibe Aquarius energy, so those people will get in a relationship with them. And some of the people they can get in relationship really, they harness these energies differently. One is motivated and inspired by love, and the other person kind of rejects love, but because they could have both experienced endings in their life, they get in friendships and relationships and employment with each other. But they're motivated and inspired by different things. One wants someone to love them. The other one is loving and wants to move forward with loving people. But, people can wear good false masks. People emotionally want to stay in their comfort zone, but they also want to be in relationships. And so even though they have inner conflict about even kind of some people even being in a romantic relationship, because it could just cause them a lot of inner conflict because they know people want the dream to come into reality, and they know they could like to keep their emotions buried beneath the surface and operate more from their ego. In order to get people to be in a relationship with them, they kind of have to wear a false mask. And the way I read tarot is that the male figures can represent how we're operating more from our ego nature, our more worldly nature, and whether you're male or female. But what's the truth of how you feel emotionally? So let's go to the next thing. Then we have professional assistance and new beginnings. I love that new beginnings card with that little baby there. It's so cute. And the reason those came out is because of taking steps. We all want to be in a relationship, but some people want to be in a relationship with someone because they are in more codependent energy. I'm not doing the work within myself to free myself emotionally from my inner conflict, to heal and get balance within myself. I want to look like I've changed. I want to look like I'm more balanced and I've healed. And I'm looking to get in maybe a relationship with someone to make it look, we're either the real deal or we're trying to create an illusion in the world. And some people are right now, kind of some of the more worldly, shadowy people, are just trying to get in a new relationship with people or working on in a relationship with people just because it helps them feel more balanced maybe within themselves. It makes them, because we've either done the work to get balance within ourselves, we've learned how to offset our fears, our insecurities, our more immature, indulgent nature, like being a good parent to ourselves, loving and nurturing and encouraging and supportive, or we haven't learned how to do that, and we do have our fears and our insecurity and our pride or our ego or our envy or our lust or our greed kind of driving the decisions that we make. And some people are very either just immature and want to indulge in relationships. Some people just want to be in relationships to feel more balanced. Just because maybe one relationship ended, they might want to cause conflict for the loving people in their life who loved and believed in themselves and moved on. It's like, no, I refuse to deal with my inner conflict. I'm going to try to cause you inner conflict. That would be acting from shadowy energy. I'm going to go get in a different relationship just to cause you inner conflict, which is not a good reason to get in a relationship with someone. But the people who are more shadowy, they're kind of unwilling to, again, deal with some of their inner issues, but they want to be in relationships. So, but then it can be looking to other people like you're the solution for my problems. And that can be how some people view life too. No. This playing it safe card is kind of reminding me of the garden and the gate card, where people might have this way of living life in a lot of ways. Maybe it could seem very abundant in a lot of ways. And they want to be in relationships maybe with people that are also more about making life about the world and operating more from your defensive nature or your egoic nature, or making your life more about status and image and money and materialism. And they right now could be trying they could look to relationships. It's kind of though these alternative purposes. Like, I'm not really going to bring the dream into reality with you, but I'm unstable. I have fears. I have insecurities. I want to present a certain image in the world. So I'm kind of using you to make me feel better, to make me feel more balanced within myself, to make it seem like I've changed, I've grown, I've healed, I've matured, I've moved on. But eventually this pattern just keeps repeating, because if they keep getting in a relationship with people who are hopeful and believing in love, those people, want to have these new beginnings. It's like, I'm willing to work with you in a relationship, but eventually I want us to move forward where we're both like being more authentic and just and fair and balanced in the relationship, where we're both willing to move forward and deal with some of our inner conflicts, to take action to really bring the dream into reality. And then the people that have fear of love or fear of being hurt, that's when their fear kicks in again. It's like, shit, now I'm again in a relationship with a loving person, male or female, and they want me to listen to my intuition and deal with my fears and insecurities of having hope and faith and belief in love. And I would have to detach from my more defensive nature, or this more worldly view of life that maybe drives and motivates me. And then the whole pattern can repeat itself. The people that they are in a relationship are like, is our dream ever going to come into reality? Are you ever going to detach from some of these things that manipulate you to move forward with me in hope and faith and belief in love? And eventually they might realize that I kind of get the feeling that you're never going to deal with some of those issues, or maybe you are codependent on some people in your life. And, it's kind of like some people can get married to people, get in relationships with people, kind of like, oh yeah, I'm independent, I'm willing to bring a dream into reality with you and have a new beginning. But then you find out that they're really kind of tethered to some other people in their life that is kind of like who they look to for their more sense of stability, or it's kind of like their primary foundation. And that kind of makes me think of that Bible verse that they talk about at weddings in Corinthians, like, well, they reference man, but man in the Bible can represent humankind, that a man will leave his mother and father to cleave to his wife, which you could even look at. We as human beings kind of cleave to our more worldly self nature, and we need to cleave to our more loving, emotionally intuitive nature. Otherwise, our more self nature, prideful nature, defensive nature will make our life just more about us and our defensiveness to being hurt and our ego and the things of the world that we want to indulge in, instead of letting love and intuition be what guides the decisions in our life. And some people, it's like whoever those other, they're aligning with their more worldly nature of self and how they view life. And then they could have people in their life who also live their life that way and view life that way. And some people just aren't more independent from other people to know how to fill their own cup, feel more stable and grounded within themselves. And they have this way of viewing life, and it's kind of like an unhealthy attachment to people, You're my siblings, you're my parents, you're my friend, and I can't create a new life, like a romantic relationship with you. I can't have children with you, but you still are like the primary foundation in my life. Well, if you're going to marry other people and have family with other people, the people you're creating that life with should be the priority people of foundation in your life. Those are the people that take precedence in your life. And sometimes you get in relationships with people and you realize that's not the case. It's like, I want to be in relationships with other people. I might even want to marry other people. I might want to have children with people, but I'm unwilling to become independent from a foundation, because that caused me inner conflict, because maybe it would require me to, again, deal with my own fears and insecurities about being more independent in the world, inspired to, figure out, why am I so codependent? Why am I fearful of going on my own journey in life? And I think if some of these people who create illusions, if they get in relationships with other loving people, the same thing's going to happen again. Now, they could get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. We'll talk about you high vibe people in a minute. They could get in a relationship with someone who's like themselves, and that would be a just and fair relationship. If they're both, if they're both on the same page, they maybe could help each other work through some of those issues together, because they both might have healing to do. They both might have a lot of fears or inner conflict. They both might be kind of, with the conflict card kind of reminding me of the Five of Wands. They both might be people who are kind of used to, and shadowy Scorpio, maybe trying to intimidate and control people or manipulate people. And if that's the truth of who they are, and if they operate more from their kind of hiding behind their ego and false mask, they should be in relationships with people who are like that. And maybe together they could help each other navigate through that. But it's an injustice for them to be in a relationship with someone who's freed themselves from some of those things, like learn some lessons in life to be more giving or nurturing or just and fair or mature or something. And for them to present themselves as being that type of person when they know they're not. Eventually, the truth comes to light. You can fool people for a while, maybe even a long time, but you can't fool people forever. Eventually people work through their own inner conflict about staying in it. And they've probably been very loving and very patient. And eventually, their intuition tells them your dream isn't going to come into reality with this person. They kind of committed fraud. They kind of weren't being truthful and authentic. And unless during that relationship, people work through those things, to work through some of their fears and insecurities, to be more authentic and more just and fair and balanced within themselves, to be more authentic and just and fair with the people they're in relationship with, those relationships aren't going to make it. And I think some of these people who wear a false mask, they think, oh, I know, I can just create this illusion, wear my false mask, hide my fears, hide my insecurities. I can keep moving forward, not dealing with my issues of not feeling good enough or all my fears and insecurities. But eventually, just like human beings kind of grow and mature over time, relationships are meant to grow and mature over time. And eventually the people that they're in a relationship with are going to want the relationship to go to the next level, where it is a more deep, meaningful relationship. And that's when their same fears and insecurities and things are going to kick up. And I think the whole time they're in the relationship, they're fearful that the people that they're in a relationship with are going to love and believe in themselves, and that in alignment with life, changing and growing and healing and maturing over time, they're always afraid that the people they're in a relationship with are going to work through their own issues and want them to. Let's go ask, why do some of these people have so much inner conflict about dealing with whatever their issue is. Okay, that was way too many. Okay. Why do some of these people have so much inner conflict about, I don't know, it has something to do with this card not showing itself, and the reason it came out is because of the Tower. So, let's see. The Tower is, oh, it's Scorpio Aries energy. Aries energy is about the self, and Scorpio energy is about, you know, kind of which aspect emotionally am I going to align with in my world. Am I more aligning with my fearful, insecure nature, defensive nature, shadowy, bossy, controlling, egotistical, self-centered nature? And I'm unwilling to give up any of those things because that's how I view life. I would have to detach from a way of viewing life or a foundational view of life, and I'd have to let that go. You know, when we're going to choose this, we can't choose that. You know, life's about making decisions. And again, some people, they're not making, you know, we have this dualistic nature. We can choose this, our more hopeful, believing, loving nature. We can have our more worldly nature. And there's some people that just keep juggling. I don't want to pick a path. You know, I think I want that. But then when I get in that, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Will I have the money or the status or the image? This requires me to keep growing and maturing and healing myself. I'm not sure if I want to keep doing that. Maybe I'd rather get in a relationship where I don't have to do that, but then they can get in a relationship where it is about that and not challenging them, but it also might be more superficial and shallow, so then they want this, and they just don't ever want to deal and get to the truth of what foundation they want to build their life on. Or they already know that they have these issues at the core of their foundation, but they don't want to deal with it. Well, Knight of Cups in reverse. Well, kind of be like, I don't have hope and faith and belief in my dreams. Pisces energy, Scorpio energy is fixed energy emotionally, kind of in our Cancer energy, the three water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. In Cancer energy, we can want to be in a relationship. Then we get in a relationship, and then we're kind of in Scorpio energy, which is fixed emotional water sign energy. It's kind of like, okay, now I got in a relationship. Now this is how I want to move forward, however I harness my Scorpio energy. But they could reject Pisces energy, which is, or harnessing it in a high vibe way, which helps us transition out of one phase of life to go to another phase of life, having hope and faith and belief in our dreams. And for some people, they don't really have hope and faith and belief in love. Don't have hope and faith and belief in themselves. It's like, can't we just get in a relationship, put work and effort to, you know, we just keep working on with the way things are. I'm going to have my fears, my insecurities, my ways of being. You have your ways of being. And we all just stay the same. And, you know, we could make our life then more about how successful we look, you know? And that's how some people want to live their life. But it can be hard for them to find someone who might want to live their life like that with them, because it is, nothing ever changes. I'm kind of curious. What else? Tell us more about the Tower card. Okay, let's ask. What's the foundation they would have to let go of? Aquarius star card, the Six of Cups, and the Two of Cups, because of the Ace of Cups. The way they view life and their idea of the dream relationship, the Six of Cups can talk about repeating this old pattern. because they love that pattern. And it could be making their life more about themselves, that shadowy Aquarius energy. I like to be the center of attention in a relationship. I might need some professional help because I might be very immature. You know, that maybe I think I'm like God, and I think I'm this just and fair, this way I live life. I think it's just and fair, and I could think I look like a shining star in the world, and I have this viewpoint of how relationships should be, and I should act like this, and you should act like this, and I'm going to think like this, and you should think like that. And they could have grown up with people who live their life like that, and they're looking for someone else who lives their life like that. And it's just, you know, the whole thing is, we all have our ideas, you know. Everybody has their ideas of how they like to live life, and everybody has these things that they want to accomplish. But, you know, shadowy Aquarius is also, let me double check, is also fixed sign energy. You know, it's kind of like it's just all about them and how they view it. But when we're going to work together with other people, they have their dreams, they have their ways of being, they have their idea of the dream relationship, and we have to work cooperatively together. We should be working together cooperatively for the common goal. Everybody is willing to work together cooperatively from love, motivated and inspired by love, to bring that dream into reality. Everybody is kind of willing to detach from their more prideful, egotistical, self-centered nature to a degree for the bigger goal. But some people don't view life that way. It's like, no, I might think that I'm the most important person in the situation, so everybody else should put aside their pride and ego, but never me. I love me. I want to be in relationships with people who love me, and you be loving, and I'll be kind of more about myself. And some people find that to be the dream relationship. You know, some people, you know, maybe because of some particular trait, characteristic, or asset that they have. If I'm good looking, if I'm successful, if I have a certain reputation, if I have social clout, if I have power, influence, whatever, or I'm just full of myself. Some people could think that because I have those things, well, what they don't get, you know, other people in the world who are loving people have some of those traits, characteristics, and assets also. But they don't think that because they do, that other people should indulge them in a relationship. And for some of these people, they could maybe not understand that. And they don't want to see the truth of it. Some of those shadowy people did get in relationships with people who are very loving, giving, nurturing, look at life from a higher perspective. They have some of those same traits, characteristics, and assets like they have. They could be attractive. They could be charming. They could have, you know, all those things I said. But they don't use those things to try to manipulate people in a relationship. And that's when it can kind of reveal the truth of these more shadowy people's foundation. And then sometimes they don't like that. Your light irritates their demons. And they don't like, because they like to view themselves as these high vibe, like they harness high vibe Aquarius energy. And then they can get in relationship with people who, as time goes by, you know, they're growing and healing and maturing themselves, and they're really harnessing high vibe Aquarius energy. And then they have inner conflict with that. Kind of puts them up in their ego, that the other people have taken this, done this work to work through their own shadowy nature to be loving and creative and inspired. And it kind of highlights that they don't do that. And then sometimes those people just don't want to be in a relationship with those people anymore. If you go away, it won't illuminate that I'm not who I think I am. And if you go away, I can hang out with these people and I can keep staying in my illusion that I'm a high vibe person too. And I don't have anybody around me who really is. So we all get to live in our illusion bubble that we're these high vibe people in the world. Even though we might be emotionally shallow, they're really more emotionally shallow, superficial, prideful, and egotistical. And self-centered, unwilling to change, unwilling to step out of their comfort zone, unwilling to let love and intuition guide their decisions. But so long as they can get rid of the people who are authentically high vibe, then they think they can just keep moving forward, looking like a shining star in the world. They just need to find someone else to get in a relationship with who buys into the illusion of who they think they are. And if they find someone who is, then they'll be in a relationship with someone who's like themselves. And they both could be people who are emotionally shallow, superficial, manipulative, maybe, and maybe stay in the relationship more for ego or image or money and materialism. And that would be just and fair. And some of those people could be looking for people who are like that because that's how they view life. And that's how they want to live their life. And some of the people that are currently in relationships with those types of people could be the people who are being loving and encouraging to some people like that to try to get them to move forward with them, aligning with their more hopeful, believing nature. Some of those people are the people right now that are fearful. Is my dream ever going to come into reality with these people? Why would I keep staying in a relationship with these people who don't seem to be taking action more in love, that might have a different reason why they want to stay in a relationship with me? Just because I'm loving and nurturing and warm, or because I might have status or image or social clout and they want those things? It's like, why do you want to be in this relationship? I'm kind of feeling it's not love because we're not moving forward in a commitment, where we're moving forward and detaching from old ways of being. And, it seems like we've kind of gotten to a standstill. Why are we at a standstill? And some of those people aren't at it yet, but if they're in a mismatched relationship, eventually they'll have to confront it. So, because things ended, people want new beginnings. People want probably to have new beginnings with people who they think might be on the same page as them. The shadowy people might be trying to manipulate someone again. The people that are being authentic and balanced and just and fair, those are, they're working with the people in their life who are working together with them in that way. And they both take responsibility to deal with their own inner conflict of when they'd kind of like things to be a little bit more their way. And they work through those issues within themselves and those people, your friends and your family members and coworkers and the people who are on the same page as the loving people are doing this work within themselves to keep moving forward with those people. And the high vibe people are seeing the truth about the people in their life who aren't on the same page as them. And though it might cause them some inner conflict, from a place of love, they're moving forward, going to let those people live their life the way they want to live it. And they're going to keep having hope and faith and belief in healing, hope that those people will heal one day. But they're not going to keep investing their time, energy, and effort into people who aren't being authentic, aren't revealing the truth, aren't taking action in truth. Then we're not on the same page. And we also have to deal with the fact that some of the people we might have wanted to have new beginnings have already moved on with other people. Sometimes we can meet people, we want to have a new beginning with them, we don't know they're in a relationship, and all we can do is reveal our truth in love. Some of the people we might have communicated with had new beginnings of their own. And now they have to figure out what kind of relationship are they in? How are they living their life? Is that aligned with their truth? Are they in it because of fear or codependency? Are the people in relationship with them more out of fear and codependency? But until they work through that on their own, the high vibe people are like, oh, I didn't realize maybe that you were in a relationship. Worked with you for a year, or we've been friends for a year. I never saw that you were in a relationship, but apparently you are. Okay, well, I'm going to keep listening to my intuition, maintaining balance within myself, loving myself, working through my own inner conflict about the fact that something I might have wanted to work out didn't, and I'm going to keep taking this action to keep facing my fears, to keep taking action, letting love and intuition guide me. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Aquarius energy that they might not see coming? Okay, well, I see we have a card at the bottom of the deck that's kind of flipped in the wrong direction. So we have the Eight of Swords, and this card came out, which is the Lover's card. And the reason is because of the Queen of Wands. Whenever we're going to detach from someone, or there is someone new that we might have wanted, you know, if it's a job or a friendship or a romantic relationship, initially it can put us up in our head because something we had wanted to have a new beginning with didn't work out. But we keep listening to our intuition, and we keep offering ourselves love and compassion and encouragement to deal with the truth of the situation. Some people are already in loving, just, and fair relationships. Some people are not, but they might stay in it anyway for whatever reasons they have. And then we might know some people who are shadowy, you know? And so then we offer ourselves love to work through that conflict, to be inspired to keep taking action in love. And then it gets to be where instead of being up in our head about it, we're aligned with listening to our intuition and love, because the Eight of Swords is Gemini energy, and high vibe people in their free will Gemini energy have aligned with their loving nature, and they're listening to their intuition to guide them. And I think as they keep doing that, what you don't see coming, well, for one, there might be people who might want to communicate with you to have you help them with some of challenges that they're going through in their life. And I think that's what high vibe people do. They offer love and encouragement and resources to other people because we need more healed people in the world. People who are in shadowy energy don't want to love and encourage other people in a way because everybody's their competition. I want to look better than you, you know, and I'm not, you know, it's kind of like I don't want you to outshine me. High vibe people, it's like, hey, you got different talent, skills, and interests in me. You would blow me out of the water. And yeah, I want you to do that because you're more talented, more skilled. That's not my thing. That's your thing, you know? And realizing that helping other people grow to their full potential doesn't really take anything away from us. We have our talents and skill levels, and other people have their talent and skill levels. Really, are we going to be petty and envious and jealous? And, you know, so I think high vibe people will offer love and encouragement to people, but they're maybe not going to move forward with some people if they know those people, until they know these people have done this work within themselves. We can know all sorts of people that we're friends with and that we don't mind hanging out with when we go out in the world. But am I going to date you or get in a more formal commitment with you? No. In the past, we did that and we got in these mismatched relationships. And until other people free themselves from the things that manipulate them and are being more balanced within themselves and at peace within themselves and have learned to love themselves and work through their fears and insecurities and gotten out of their more codependent energy, we've already learned that if those things manipulate them and we get in a relationship with them, all those things will be like a third party in our relationship because they haven't made the free will choice to align with love, to work through those things. And you might have some people who might want to come be in a relationship with you because they're just in a mental prison about you having a new beginning with someone else. And they kind of want to be the one to indulge in a relationship with you. It's like, but you're like people, either I do know you and I know you have these issues, or I realize you are like some people I've known in my past. And my intuition is telling me that you're still operating more from your mind, like this would look good for you, this would help you look like you move forward, maybe it would make you look victorious and successful in some regard. You'd have someone to indulge in a relationship with to make you feel better, to make you feel more stable and grounded. We're only being friends until I know that you've worked through these issues. And if you don't, then it'll keep being friends. I've learned to listen to my intuition. I can have love for people, and I'm not going to get in a love relationship with someone if my intuition is telling me that there's still people that haven't dealt with their own inner conflict, or they're immature players and they just looking to me like a drug or an alcohol to feel better, you know? It's like, no, you need to do this work within yourself or go find someone else to be the answer to your problems. Because the whole thing is, if somebody looks to you to be the answer to their problems, you get in a relationship with them, they haven't dealt with their issues bubble back up, and then they're like, well, you're not doing your job, or my issues went to bubbled up. It's like, no, those are your own issues to deal with. They didn't have anything to do with me ever. And it's like, well, no, but you were supposed to be like the drug or alcohol that was supposed to take away all my fears and insecurities and things. It's like, and then they go look for someone else who they think is the answer to their problems. It's like, no. Until you deal with your own issues within yourself and are operating from love and having hope and faith and belief in love and have freed yourself and are illuminating the truth and taking action in truth and love, I'm going to listen to my intuition about the people I meet. And there will be other people. I think it'll have people up in a mental prison because there definitely could be people who want to be in relationships with some high vibe people. But as long as the high vibe people keep staying in the energy of love and balance within themselves, and they don't take action more out of pride or ego or fear or lust or greed or codependency, then some of these people can't be in a relationship with you because they'll only get in a relationship with you if you're in that energy where you seem like codependent and looking to them like, I need you in my life for my dreams come into reality. It's like, no, I don't need a certain person in my life for my dreams come into reality. I just need someone who's on the same page as me. And if I'm being authentic and loving and truthful and inspired by love, and that keeps you away from me, then you apparently, because you don't want to do life like that, well, then we're not on the same page. So my dream can't come into reality with you anyway. And I'm going to keep moving forward with the people in my life who are working together with me and the people that I meet, and I'm going to listen to my intuition about who's who. What's coming up for the people who harness a more worldly or shadowy Aquarius energy that they might not see coming? Okay. Initially, we had these 4 cards pop out. face down. And then we have the Seven of Cups that kind of split in the middle of the deck. And the reason is because of the Four of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Some of the people that are kind of being manipulated by their fear and their insecurity and their pride and their ego or their lust or their greed or their immature nature or the world or other people in their life who thought some loving people in their life would keep kind of indulging in letting these things manipulate them too. They're going to have some people that are going to quit emotionally investing in them, and those people are going to move on because those people have seen the truth. Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy. They want to be in deep, meaningful relationships, and they could know that the people they're in a relationship with just create an illusion of love because they're feeling unloved in it. You know, and we can also have people who kind of turn their back on us in order to try to cause us this inner conflict and emotionally confuse us because they're trying to manipulate us to give up on our dreams, to come back and do the relationship the way they want. And it's like, no. If you were motivated and inspired, if I revealed my truth and I was authentic and loving, trying to bring justice to a situation, and you're not moving forward with me in that way, I'm assuming you've moved on with other people that you love, or we're not on the same page, or you're trying to manipulate me. Either way, I can only move forward with people who are willing to invest in the truth, in love with me. And if you're not doing that or acting in that way, I'm going to take that cup of love to love myself and believe in my dreams and go find the people in the world who I do think are on the same page as me. And some of these shadowy people who, again, we have the free will choice to be truthful and just and fair and loving and act with character and integrity in a relationship. And some people didn't choose that. And they kind of keep choosing to be bossy or controlling or cold or detached, or, you know, and it can be all this thing to stop other people, to cause them this inner conflict, to make them feel left out in the cold, instill fear and insecurity in them, to get them to think, I need to focus on this person to make this relationship better and to work. It's like, wait a minute, ding, 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 ding. I've already been doing that. I've been offering love and resources to these people to try to get them to move forward with me in this way. And they keep ignoring my love. At what time am I going to see the truth? That these people aren't motivated to work with me in that way. And eventually some of the high vibe people in their life are like, I'm done. You know, your idea of what it means to work together with people in a relationship, what you think is just and fair. So the shadowy people kind of like harnessing, I'm kind of looking at the peace card as like Libra, Sagittarius energy, and the healing light in shadowy as shadowy Leo. The other people are operating more from pride and ego, immature, thinking it's just and fair. And that could be how they like to be in relationships, and they want the people in their life to keep moving forward with them, indulging them in that poor behavior. And eventually the high vibe people see the truth. The way you want to move forward is not from love, creating this illusion of how wonderful our life is, maybe more about ego and image indulgence or something, tempting me in my more worldly nature, wanting me to be in my fear and my insecurity and my codependency, trying to emotionally confuse me about the truth of who you are, trying to confuse me about the truth of who I am, make me not love and believe in myself or believe in my dreams. And some of the high vibe people are like, I'm done. And some of the shadowy people did not see that coming. The high vibe people are willing to quit aligning with these energies in a shadowy way and quit aligning with people who harness those energies in a shadowy way. The Three of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Six of Cups. We can all get in a relationship and move forward with people. And then even if people are kind of defensive or bossy or controlling and repeating some poor past patterns, for a long time, we can put a lot of work and effort trying to get those people to move forward with us in a loving relationship. And eventually we see the truth. I want to be in a relationship with people who I feel like are loving and encouraging to me. And I've already probably been in relationships with people who act like this. Maybe more from their worldly nature, Capricorn and Taurus energy, where their philosophy of life is that it's more about the world and being defensive to deep, meaningful relationships. It's like, I'm done trying to make people be more loving than they want to be. If you don't want to be loving, go find people who want to repeat that pattern with you and live life that way. But that's not my truth. And I do want to be in deep, meaningful relationships. And now the high vibe people are harnessing this energy in a high vibe way. I have put in the work and effort to see the truth. I am willing to detach from a foundation with you and speak my truth. I am willing to reveal the truth. I am willing to love and believe in myself, to stand up for what I believe in, where before maybe I wasn't. And that could have been why we were drawn and attracted to certain people anyway. We get drawn and attracted to people because we have lessons to learn from them, to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And we got in relationships with some people where it's like, oh yeah, this is not my truth. I really thought this was. I really thought this was going to work out the way I wanted it to. But I could have realized that, how we harness our Scorpio energy, our Leo energy, our Aquarius energy, our Libra energy, our Taurus energy, our Capricorn energy, our Cancer energy. People are either using their emotions manipulatively in a relationship to get people to do what they want, or they're working together with them cooperatively from a place of love. We're either being authentic or we're kind of creating an illusion of love, but not really being authentic and loving. We're either operating more from our ego, or we've tempered our harnessing high vibe Leo energy, we've tempered our more ego nature to be open to giving and receiving love, and high vibe Libra energy, where we treat other people the way we like to be treated. And we realize that that's not where some people are at. And they maybe don't even want to live their life that way. But they might like being in relationships with people who are like that, but they're not that type of person. And then people are illuminated to the truth. My dream isn't going to come into reality here. I can love you, but if you're not treating me in a just and fair and loving and warm way, then I'm going to listen to my intuition. And eventually people will get to be where they don't even view those people as a choice in love, because they know that the way they view life and the way they want to live their life is just completely different. You can have love for them, but I don't want to be in a romantic relationship with you anymore. I've done this work within myself to, you're living life a certain way, and I know I don't want to live my life that way. So I've detached and I've moved on. And I'm going to find the people in the world who are on the same page as me. So I think what ultimately will happen with the shadowy, more worldly people is they have some lessons to learn in life. And the way that they're living life, they're sure, just like we all did at different times in our life, we're sure this was the way to live life. This is what was going to make them happy. And I think they're going to end up being emotionally confused, because it's like, why didn't that work? I thought for sure whatever it was who I went to go get in a relationship with, or whatever I indulged in to make me feel better, even if it's drugs or money, pride and ego, I thought for sure that would make me happy. And they're going to feel like, because love is the answer. Love is the truth. But some people didn't think love was that important, or had some lessons to learn. And they got themselves tangled up in some things of their own to try to get them to see the truth. And some of them will and some of them won't. They're going to have other people who are going to want to be in a relationship with them. And they might be people who are more like themselves. I too don't want to do love. I too kind of am caught up in these things of the world that I think will make me happy. I'll indulge in those things with you or make my life about those things, because that's how I view life too. And if they find someone who views life the way they do, for them it could seem like the dream relationship. And for people who view life that way and want to live their life that way, it is like the dream relationship. Because they maybe never really wanted to do love anyway. They maybe never wanted to step out of conforming to the world. But for other people, that's not how they want to live their life. They saw the truth of it. They face their fears that that's not my truth. And I am inspired to wrap my brain around this game of life. Life's an adventure to be lived. I want to kind of like grow to my full potential, shine my authentic life, be in relationships with people who are loving and encouraging and authentic. I want to be that type of person. I don't want to hide behind my false mask and my ego, and I don't want to make my life just about indulging in these things of the world or my ego or my image or my status. And some of those people are just doing this work within themselves right now to heal and get balance within themselves. And they're going to listen to their intuition. And when their intuition tells them they have met the people or new people in their life that are on the same page as them, those are the people they're going to move forward with. The other people just might get in a relationship because they're sad, they're unstable, they're ungrounded, looking to a relationship to feel better, and we're emotionally complex human beings. Why do I want to get myself emotionally entangled with someone in a romantic relationship when they're not really the person I want to be in a relationship? That would be kind of like me using them. And I don't want someone to use me. So until then, I'm going to put this work and effort into the things in my life that are aligned with my truth, my creativity, my imagination, my unique talent, skills, and interests, my career, until I do find the right person to be in a relationship with. For some people got out of relationships. They illuminated the truth to some people in their life about the lessons that they learned. And some of those people, though, could be in a relationship that they could have gotten into more out of codependency. And now they have a lot of inner conflict about maybe getting out of it because fear of being judged. So for some of the people who kind of could have gotten into something for whatever reasons, now they could feel like they've missed an opportunity in love because instead of dealing with their own, and it's a conundrum of human beings, what if there's nobody around that you want to have these type of relationships with, and 5 years goes by or something, and maybe you're at the age where you want to get married and you want to have children, and then we might, in our pride and ego, kind of, we could hope for the best, but, did we? I don't know. It's a conundrum, right? And it's us as human beings, I think the high vibe energy would be to, there's other ways to not to get married if someone's not around, but you can have children, you can invest in other people in the community and in your family that have children, or you can have children in some other way. But sometimes because we weren't willing to reveal our truth, we weren't willing to, the whole thing is there's consequences for our actions. Some people could get themselves in situations and then think, oh, if someone else comes along, I would just get out of it. Well, we're emotionally complex human beings, and hopefully we have some empathy and compassion for people that we're in relationship with. And what we thought we would do at some future date maybe isn't what we're willing to do. And though there might be people we would like to invest in, some people, if, they're in a commitment, well, then I think the just and fair thing is to offer love and encouragement to the people you're in relationship with to try to manifest the type of relationship you want. And if those people aren't willing to do that, that's when, the truth is kind of illuminated. But why weren't we doing that maybe to begin with? Maybe when some people revealed the truth about why they could have rejected some people because they had some lessons to learn, that might be the thing that frees those people up to be able to move forward in their life and, not carry some pain and heartbreak that they could have carried with them. I think when high vibe people could possibly reach out to people to communicate the truth, it's not to try to manipulate them or tempt them. I just want to reveal the truth. And I might not know where you're at in your life. And I want to let you know that I've learned some lessons in life. I could have quit being your friend, not become your friend, not dated you, got out of dating you, because I had my own lessons learned. And now I've learned these lessons. If you were hurt by my actions in the past, I don't want that to be something that causes you fear of love. It can all kind of get us in our ego a little bit, but if we know we acted to the best of our ability, hopefully, we just offer love and compassion and forgiveness to all of it and everyone, and we just keep moving forward. We don't want other people to be in a mental prison about us. We don't want to be in a mental prison about other people. And in an energy of peace, love, and joy, we keep moving forward, wishing other people peace, love, and joy, and treating other people with respect. And we just believe that the people who are kind of receptive and open to the message of the good news will want to work with us. But some people won't, because it would require them to invest time, energy, and effort to work through why they wouldn't be willing to be in that type of relationship. And they'd have to deal with some truths about themselves. Do I like to kind of indulge myself in a relationship? Do I like to play the loving role in people's life, but I really don't want to be in a relationship with someone who is kind of like a peer-to-peer type of relationship? Do I like to play the loving person in people's life who are more fearful and insecure, so they kind of look to me as like their God in their life? Some people do. By being in high vibe energy, it kind of illuminates to other people the truth of who they are, which they might not like. But anyway, we'll leave it there, Aquarius. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.